So today's job, we're going to try getting this Cold War era venner autowailer up and running. So this would have been the local control switch to operate the air raid sirens. In the event of a real raid, it would have been done remotely. So these were more used for testing. So this one originally had pyro cables in when it came to me, which were cut. So obviously the mineral insulation would have taken in moisture and that would have gone down to earth. So we've stripped that out. It does show some signs of non-standard paint around the edge, so I should imagine this one was either installed in an industrial building or a fire station as opposed to a street cabinet. So the plan will be we'll do some insulation testing on it just to make sure there's nothing going to earth or any dead short faults, things like that in it. And then if we're happy with that, we'll get it hooked up and test the electromechanical mechanism there. One thing we have noticed, the thread's gone in the grub screw there, so we'll have to have a look at that. One of the common things to go on this is actually the coil inside, which I do have some spares of, so if that is the case we can change it out. But hopefully by the end of the day we can hook it up to a little test rig with one of the little mini sirens and see if we can get it to wail. Okay, we've got it to the point where we're pretty much ready to fire it up for the first time now. We did find one or two issues with it, but luckily the coil wasn't one of them, which is always a nightmare of a job, so that's always a bonus. We did fix a loose lug nut, which was a thread which had gone in the back of the timer unit, but luckily we managed to find a bolt on this old bit of telephone exchange which fitted, which is always a bonus. So we've nearly got it ready to go. We've got the temporary power supply there, so we've got an RCD and a 6 amp MCB in there just to give us some protection, because as I say, it's probably been quite a few years since this thing's had any power through it. We did do an insulation test on everything and we didn't have any signs of anything going down to earth, but as you can see we've got the unit earthed up there as well. So usually the auto wailer wouldn't be directly connected to a siren, it would actually activate the contactor, which is one of these big units here, and that would have a 3-phase supply running through it, which would then activate one of the bigger sirens like this. But today we've got this nice little 240 volt siren here, which is low ampage, so we'll be able to run that directly off the auto wailer. So the only thing we've got to put back in at the moment, you can see the timer module's not in there at the moment, we've just got to get that back in. We've got it connected up down there, so we've got the live incoming and neutrals there, and the live going out on that side is marked up coil there, so that's usually what, as I say, goes to that contactor to activate the siren. So we'll just get that timer module back in and she'll be ready to test. Okay, this is the venner auto wailer timer module. As you can see, it just pops out nice and easily for servicing, which is always a bonus. The lug nuts back secured there now, which holds down this Bakelite cover here, which covers the live electrical terminals on the front. We did find one other problem with this, and it was the cam, which is this little contactor just going onto the cam reel there. That was jammed up there, but we've managed to free that. So when the motor spins, you will now see that now kicks in and out. So this is what's actually making the wail. So when it's pushed out like that, it's connected. That's your 5 seconds on. And when it pops into that little groove, that's your 3 seconds off. So it would just continuously spin whilst you're holding the button, and that's how it's doing the time signal for the wail of the siren. So the timer module we were just talking about, that ran the alert red side here, so that was the timed on and off to make the siren wail, but the white signal will be all clear was just a continuous signal, so they didn't need to use the mechanical time switch for that part of it. So that was activated in this set of contactors down here. So the switches on the outside there were just connected to these plungers on the inside, which would pop through these holes in this Bakelite cover, and on this side they would push down the contactors this side, which will activate the timer module, which we've got to pop in a minute. And on the white side, it just activates the shorting bar just inside down the bottom there, and that just sends power directly to the contactor to start the siren without the need of going through the timer switch. There is one more cable just on the bottom here which isn't connected up. That one that's marked GPO, which was General Post Office, who were in charge of the telephone network when this unit was made, and that's for the remote control, which would have been one of these units here, which is the WB1400 receiver signalling. So that would have been the remote start box that would have been mounted next to this unit and the main control panel, and that would have overridden the autowailer to start the siren. So it wouldn't have used any of the mechanism inside to sound the siren. That was all done by pulses down the phone line through this unit here. So that was just to override the autowailer in case it was being tested at the time and would start the siren automatically. Okay, so we've got the timer module back in there now, so we'll just get that clamped down and we'll fire it up and give it a go. So we'll give the attack red a go first. And the attack white. Okay, job's a good one, and we'll get her put into a main panel soon.